Hello and welcome to the Data Break Podcast, episode 56 for the week of, what is it? May 31st, 2016. I'm your host, James Lee, and with me today we have Ravenstorm Barkin. To my left. And to my right, we have Max Lee.
No relation.
Taylor is unavailable today. He is sick with something.
He's got car trouble.
Yeah. But also
Sick.
Which just means he gets to watch us flail around on video for the next hour and a half or so.
Get our viewer back.
Oh yeah, also this week, outside the frame that you cannot see, we have our biggest fan.
Bring him in here, come on.
Oh shit, I turned around. Love it.
You shouldn't turn our... We turn our fans on, as you can see here on the database.
Max turned our fan
Our
on.
fans cannot be helped.
But be turned on by us.
Oh, jeez. This week we got a lot of stuff. How are you guys doing, though, first of all?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking.
Doing nicely.
Doing nicely. Good. Good to be back in town for a few days.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys.
Yeah. Always good. I mean, you guys are around, so I highly recommend you guys have a... Vodcast, yes.
A vodcast.
Yeah.
Because we can't have a two-person podcast. That doesn't work.
It's...
Well, I mean,
you can.
get
but not the Data Break podcast.
It's true.
True.
It's true.
You could even have one with a single person, but it'll be completely boring.
Yeah.
It sounds monologue. A lot of people do. I don't know how those work, but...
I am actually surprised by that. I think that every podcast I've listened to that's held my attention has been like 2 to 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever... I'm trying to... I don't think I've ever listened to a solo podcast.
Same. I know they exist.
They do exist, for
Like-
sure, but...
Imagine Prairie Home Companion with only one person.
Anyways, we have a lot of topics to cover this week. Let's talk... I have to pull up the show notes. I know it's on my phone. I'm staring at my crotch, but I swear, it's just my phone. We have Overwatch this week. Super Bugs and Super Drugs. It's a pretty good name. McDonald's Robots. The economic ramifications of robots. Tested's Garage Sale, which Max, Taylor, and I went to
Right.
a couple days ago.
It's our featured.
Google's new messaging app, and what Edward Snowden has to say about that. And social media impact on the election. Yes, lots of good stuff. So, I guess we'll get started right off the bat. We have Overwatch. Came out this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Max, you have not been playing up with it. Just cry.
I cry every time.
So what do you miss most about Overwatch?
I miss my friends. I miss having friends.
It's like every other day on the podcast Facebook chat, you guys are saying, "Hey guys, Overwatch tonight," and I'm thinking, I wish.
just die a little bit on the inside.
You mean a little bit? No, I died like multiple times completely. There's nothing left in here.
Your computer can run it, right?
It can run. Hey, I did play the beta.
I feel like we should group fund your copy of Overwatch. I'd be willing to...
It's like 10, 15 bucks.
I'd be willing to throw in $15 for you to play.
Let's throw a Kickstarter for me to get.
Yeah.
Hey, part of our I dug up the name of our old Kickstarter.
Okay.
It was Esports
Excellent.
Simulator 2015.
Oh, great. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another stretch goal for Esports Simulator 2015 is
to buy
Max's
Max
to buy Max Overwatch.
Right.
So if you pledge over $15.
I kind of want to make a mock page for our Kickstarter.
It'd be lovely. Esports Simulator 2015. It's not even 2016. We made it a year ago.
Right.
But we still need a Kickstarter page for it.
I mean, like, think about this. Car model years come out the year behind. So 2017 cars come out in 2016. So why can't our esports simulator come out in 2016 and be the 2015 one?
Just backwards. Do it backwards. It's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Right?
Direct to consumer. That's how it works. We're just being honest with customers. Like, I mean, we started production a year ago.
Where your money's going.
Yeah, it's going to 2015, not 2016.
Exactly.
Sent to the past, not to the future. That's how we work over the Data Break podcast. Everything is in the past. What was it?
Well, I mean,
what was the old saying that we had for when we were in our school's newspapers? Like, Yesterday's news.
You mean
tomorrow?
Something like that. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yesterday's. So last year's tech tomorrow. Next year. Last year's tech next year.
That sounds great. Honestly, sounds great.
At today's prices.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Overwatch came out this week. How have you been playing? Enjoying it?
I have been enjoying it a lot. I haven't been playing it so much. And here's the interesting thing. Okay, so like a few months ago or a while back, okay, several episodes back, I you may remember this, like when I cut back on video games. Like,
yes.
I just, like,
you were out
basically
for a while.
jumped out. Yeah, and like I've actually enjoyed that mindset more than I feel like most people, like more than I feel like I would.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
Yeah. So Overwatch.
Mm-hmm. Overwatch. Okay, so yeah, I've been playing 1 to 5 games a day, usually around 2, maybe 3, because these are solo, and
Solo queue is...
when I'm soloing, it's just the worst. But so what I've been doing is I've been trying to focus on one aspect of one character and trying to do it well. Not trying to perform well like for the team necessarily, not necessarily trying to win the game, but rather just trying to get one thing done.
So, for example, like, I don't know, Tracer's like movement, trying to get that movement down.
Right.
Or...
the things that I've been working on specifically are Hanzo positioning, and like how to move him around the map, and so you can take appropriate shots.
He's very mobile for a defense character, and people just kind of strafe left and right with the arrows, and it's not as useful as it could be.
No.
Yeah.
I think he does really well in a situation where you need to do damage selectively, sort of.
Kind of like hiding?
Yeah, so basically what happens is I let someone fight it out with them, with an enemy, okay? And I just you know, if the enemy runs away, I can just pick them off, and if I need to, or if you know, I can nail them while they're fighting. Maybe the other guy can take the kill. But just whatever it is, you're just helping your teammates to get the kills, put the enemy back in spawn, and positioning is really vital with him. Same with Zenyatta, who is another character I've been practicing.
Zenyatta's pretty hard to play because he's a little weak.
Oh, extremely. But again, it's all about positioning with him.
Okay.
It's a matter of knowing how to move with your team and around your team, like through different maps, so you always have cover and you always have a way out, and while at the same time being close enough so that you can provide support, and close enough to the enemy so that you can provide your Discord orbs. And just by focusing on these small aspects, I'm able to stop being so angry at the game and my teammates who are consistently bad.
It's very easy to do.
Yeah, and so I've been practicing moderation as far as that goes. But otherwise, like, anyway, I mean, it's been a really fun time.
It's a really fun game.
And I think it's going to be successful long into the future.
Yeah. I've been playing it nearly as much as Ravenstorm has. Like, I actually remember launch day, came back. Like, I was so ready. It's like I was like 5:30 p.m. or like it was like 6 p.m. and I was like, I'm so ready to play some Overwatch. I played and I went to bed at like 9:30. I didn't even play that much. I was just so tired or something. I don't know. But the next few days I'm keeping at it. But like I enjoy the game infinitely more when I'm playing with friends because it's way more fun to just kind of mess around with them. And yeah, like honestly, you do a lot better with friends, anyways.
Yeah. We were talking about actually getting a
strategy
an Overwatch,
setup.
No, an Overwatch podcast.
Oh yes, an Overwatch.
So we
Overwatch
can just we basically just record the footage and we record
our game.
Yeah.
Would you call that a podcast?
I would, because we would be mostly talking like it's a podcast, except at the same time we'd be playing Overwatch.
It would be really difficult to like logistically assemble the footage because what would you have to do is that it'd be really cool. I mean, I would love for this to happen where it would just switch player views depending on who's talking. Man, I wonder if there's a way to do that.
No, there isn't.
There
Actually, it's not.
Yes, there is. Max is just like getting nightmares.
Yeah.
I think I can figure out a way.
I think that it could, if there was an ingenious software program, it could happen. But I think that it's really,
I think it's done manually.
Yeah, I think it's got to be done manually.
I mean, assuming you guys could upload your footage quickly enough, I think I could manage it.
Well,
I think it's just too much. We'd make too many exchanges. It would just be hectic.
Well, no, it would all go to one person. So we all upload it. We all get our videos together.
Yeah, but,
only one person puts it together.
the
And
thing
then
is, with playthroughs of multiple people, they don't switch screens every time someone new talks, because depending on the game, they're going to be switching every second, and that'll be way too jarring for the viewer.
oh, that's true. I mean, I suppose. I mean, it wouldn't have to be every second, but like it'd just be like every just.
I think it should be according to whatever is most exciting. Like just whichever of our footage is.
We
is
also
most
need
exciting.
webcam footage for all of us.
Right.
Whoever's
hopefully.
leading the topic.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Or we could just focus on
one person
playing or like we could talk about like the playing at the same time. Like I don't know. I don't know how it would be done, but I think it's a fascinating concept.
Yeah,
we could do it.
Well, we
could.
I want to try it at some point. It'll be interesting.
There will be one more issue, though: the disparity of the graphic settings with all.
I don't think anyone cares.
That
I don't think
I
anyone cares.
really think that if we just upload in 720, it'll be fine.
Do you play in 720 max?
No, but well, I do have the You know how with Overwatch you could have the actual resolution
yeah.
and the in-game resolution different?
Yeah.
Yeah, my in-game resolution is probably something like 720s.
Is it like 50% or 75%?
70-60%.
Okay, yeah. I had mine at like 50% for my laptop. It doesn't look too bad though, so I wouldn't worry.
Yeah, I suppose if we all upload at 720, that'll be.
It should be
similar.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that sounds like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, Overwatch is like just a blast.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting how easily it is for me to get like salty at the game.
Yeah, I am actually kind of fascinated with that as well because I'm used to playing Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike
And
is a
Counter-Strike-
serious business game.
I know, I can get very salty at that game, but I'm not used to being so angry at a casual game.
Yeah, it is a very casual
It's
game.
weird to me to be just livid at my teammates
For
when
such
they
a game,
fail.
and
it's like we're all just trying to have fun. It's not
it's
like
a very
we're-
upbeat too.
Yeah,
The game
yeah,
itself,
exactly.
like the visuals are just like it's like Big Hero 6.
It's
the
exciting
film, but
and like almost cuddly.
Yeah.
Like I want to tickle Torbjorn's beard. Like it come on. It's
I want to tickle Tiober's beard. Ravenstorm 2016.
and like I'm just saying like I don't understand how I get so angry, but I know why. It's because Blizzard made a great game. Blizzard made a game where
That you care about the objective,
right,
really.
and it's not just like it goes beyond. I'm gonna say its spiritual predecessor, Team Fortress 2, in a lot of ways. I think I kind of wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
In this context,
Yeah.
we've all played Team Fortress, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
in its heyday.
A lot of Team Fortress 2. Yeah, a lot of hours logged.
Okay, so as the previous reigning class-based first-person cartoony shooter, I think it has a lot of similarities with Overwatch.
Well, it's very easy because you have your classes. I mean, it's a lot more varied in Overwatch, but you have your classes, but the objectives are exactly the same. You
push a cart,
push
or
a cart,
you hold on to a point,
Yeah.
or you capture a series of points.
Yeah.
it's Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
Team Fortress 3.
Team Fortress 3. Yeah, I would. Well, later, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. I think what's most interesting about it, though, is Blizzard's promise of adding new characters, and I think this is going to be just almost kind of odd for some people. Definitely me.
It's going to be very scary.
Yeah, because every time a new character comes in, that means there's a new meta. Because team comp is a big thing in this game.
Yeah.
It's not just like in Team Fortress 2, you could kind of just do what you were good at, and then it would get done.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not how it is in Overwatch. You need to actively select and actively think about what role in your team you're playing and how your team should be playing. Should you be pushing? Should you be defending? Should you be doing damage? Should you be supporting? These things are are much more pressing issues in Overwatch, I think.
Yeah. The idea of adding a lot of characters into a game is really daunting because a lot, especially the free-to-play MOBAs, League of Legends and Dota, they always add characters to keep the game fresh.
Yeah.
Right? Just to make it more exciting and then add new meta. Really, it's literally just to keep the game fresh. But the side effect of that is that you get a lot of balance issues. A lot of characters become just literally just useless, and you just have this you have 200 characters in League of Legends, and only maybe 25 of those characters are actually competitive,
right,
and useful. So just you need to be able to, and maybe it's not even possible, and maybe Blizzard will accept the fact that some characters will become outdated and useless, and then they'll just have to rebalance them in order to keep them fresh. That's what Riot has been doing with League of Legends, where they just rework characters and then they could come back. But you have to find a way to add characters without messing with the balance, really, or while keeping everyone relevant.
Right, because that's something. It's the relevant thing that's going to be the issue, because I can see a new character coming in, and people will jump on it. Most likely, the first week it'll be a lot of people playing that character, a lot of people trying to get familiar with it, and new strategies will emerge, and it will take some balancing, most likely. But it depends on how fast and how accurately they can do that. Team Fortress 2 eventually got an update where it's a marketplace. The Steam marketplace.
The very, very infamous
hat simulator.
Yeah.
Right, the hat simulator update. And it's and at that point they added a bunch of new weapons which changed the gameplay format altogether. I remember as playing the soldier class, there was I think one of the first weapons that came out on the marketplace was called the black box, and you have one fewer ammo, one
but you did more
ammo,
damage.
But it fired quicker, I think.
Okay.
It there was a faster fire rate with fewer rockets, and I thought that just changed my gameplay style completely. That was overpowered, and in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people started using that right off the bat. But it wasn't until later, when other things were introduced to balance that for other characters, that it became normal again, I guess.
Yeah.
It wasn't a distinct advantage, but rather a distinct style. And I think that's good. What Overwatch is going to have to try to fudge is that margin between.
I think there's one big difference between Overwatch and games with marketplaces or free-to-play games. It's that since Overwatch is buy-to-play and all the updates are going to be free, they might not have the issue of having a new character or such being overpowered, because a lot of free-to-play games have their new character be overpowered and then balance him or her to the rest of the meta.
To get people to buy the character, whatever, using whatever free-to-play points.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It depends, because I know Dota doesn't. You don't have to buy any of the characters.
Yeah.
But it's not a matter of just making money in terms of free to play. It's a matter of keeping the game fresh and keeping people wanting to play.
Because a living player base is really what makes a game.
Well, especially for these multiplayer only games like Overwatch, TF2, and League of Legends and Dota. It's just, if you don't have any players, your game is dead. That is why, if you see a multiplayer only game from an indie developer, it's already dead. I hate to say it, but it's already dead, because you're not going to get a lot of players and that are dependent on other players. It's just how multiplayer games work. If you're going to want to foster a multiplayer scene, you're going to want a solid single player experience with a multiplayer scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Where people could just play the single player and they're like, oh, I really like this.
What about Spelunky?
Spelunky is just single player only.
Right. Well,
Besides local co-op.
Yeah, it was local co-op, so that's not an issue. There's games I think it's called Toxic. It's an arena shooter.
The one
that one's that one's kind of dead. There was the Fighting Plane. I don't know. There's a lot of multiplayer only games that are dead, and you can't find games because there's no players.
Right.
Evolve is a good example. Well, it's not an indie game, but
right. Oh, I see.
I think part of the problem with Evolve was the DLC plan they had, because everyone was hyped for it, and we all played the beta, right? We all really liked it.
I played it.
I didn't play it, but
Okay.
I have played the game on a friend's PS4, so I'm familiar with the gameplay.
Yeah.
It's fun, and we might have been willing to buy it, except the DLC plan, I think, put us all off 100%. So,
And what was that? I don't remember.
let's see. How many monsters does the game launch? Like
3. Yeah.
And each monster and the maps, no, not the maps, but the monsters and characters, they were locked behind like $20 DLC and all that. And people did not like that at all because it was so much content that was put away.
Yeah, no. I'm not really cool with DLC and content blocking in general. I think that if you pay $40 to $60 for a game, you should get your money's worth.
Mm-hmm. There's other ways to, like post launch like support. I mean, Overwatch is doing the skins, which like they add a lot of value to the game. Like they're really cool. Like they're like, man, that's a cool animation or whatever.
Yeah, I think they added a good deal of customization. Not through like weapon customization or necessarily even skins, but having a skin combination or a skin like intro
animation
and victory pose
emotes,
animation.
stuff like that.
Yeah, and like it's enough so that your character becomes distinct.
Uh-huh.
You have enough permutations so that it's uncommon to see your particular combination.
Yeah, exactly. And that's that's how you target gamers, really, like that little inferiority complex. It's like, I want to get that skin.
That skin, yeah.
Yeah. Just look at CS:GO. Ooh.
I need my gun to be painted. I need a different knife.
$200 sticker.
This knife that's shaped like a knife won't stab well enough. I need the knife that's shaped like a different knife and that's colored brightly.
How could I let people know I'm a fan of this defunct esports organization without paying $400?
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Anyhow.
I mean, they make a lot of money, so it's like that works.
So what do you guys think we're gonna have to, or what do you think Blizzard's gonna have to pull out in the future
for Overwatch
to keep Overwatch fresh?
I really like the idea of alternate game modes. If you go to the weekly brawl and stuff like that, there's like a lot of different things that they do. It's like you can only play as Genji, or you have or the stats are adjusted so that there's like no ultimate cooldowns. There's this, like, I saw this really funny GIF or video of people where they all had Genji and no cooldowns on their ultimate.
Right,
And it was just
so
like they were just flying everywhere. Yeah, it was just like Dragon Ball Z, right? And then like the idea of having stuff like that. Also, there's have you guys heard of ARAM?
ARAM, no.
It's a League of Legends game mode where it's all random, and then like I forget what it meant, but like basically it's just like one single lane. It's a single lane, and then just you get all random champions, and you all just kind of run at each other.
That's kind of fun.
And I think something like that would be really fun to play. Like every week, something cool, or every season. Oh yeah, another thing that they really have going for them that will sustain a large player base, anyways, is a competitive season. Yeah. So you got to stay competitive.
That gives me a promise. That gives me a promise that someday I can be good.
Yes.
Someday I'll be considered good.
And the seasons are like they're not super short like they are in Hearthstone, where it's only a month. How long are Rocket League seasons?
Rocket League's actually, I don't know. I've only seen one season change so far.
Okay.
So I don't.
Okay, know. Yeah. Overwatch promises like 3 to 4 months, which I think is a really good, good season, season length. So and League of Legends is like a year, I think. So, actually, what League of Legends does is that it's from January or February to all the way to like late fall is their season, and then they have an off season. Where off season is kind of a weird time, I think. But anyways, so like competitive season will definitely keep the player base up, so it's not a big issue. But in terms of keeping people like, and honestly, I think that's it. So in terms of balance, the game. Let's talk about the game's balance, because that's a really important aspect of these games.
Okay.
I haven't run into any balance issues yet. Like other than like the one thing that maybe could use some work, maybe is Zenyatta getting a little bit more health.
He needs mobility. He doesn't need health.
Maybe mobility. Okay, possibly mobility.
I'm fine with the glass cannon support that he is, but I'm not okay with his mobility.
He's a little slow.
Amazingly slow.
Yeah.
And like he's just like straight up sniper food. Like you can't.
Yeah.
Like if there's a Widowmaker or a Hanzo, they're going to take
dead.
you down.
They're dead.
Kinda
They're
like
going to
that
take you
animated
down.
short with the other robot.
Which one?
There was a robot that looked like Zenya.
Oh,
That's
yes.
sniped by Widowmaker,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. In one of the, in one of Blizzard shorts
Yeah.
promoting the game.
Maybe
I
it's
remember.
intentional.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
They were foreshadowing.
Sure, shouting
Yeah.
out his nerfing. Yeah.
I think I have run into a balance issue on
I know.
kind of a positive. It's kind of like an overpower issue.
Uh-huh.
I think Junkrat's overpowered.
You think?
I think Junkrat's.
I mean, I've seen you. I've seen your good play. Your play of the game.
Junkrat it's just overpowered. It's like in several senses of the word. I think that his unique combination of mobility and damage is what does it, and I think that if the bombs were toned down just a little bit, it might be a little more balanced.
I don't know. I've never played a game where I feel like I'm like, oh man, that Junkrat keeps killing me. It's like you know, I'm so mad. Like I've never felt like that.
Okay.
like-
So
What about Bastion?
Bastion, like
He's
people complain about
annoying,
Bastion a lot.
but-
And I heard the argument that Bastion isn't really overpowered. He's just boring.
No, he is okay. Here's the thing, though. King's Row, defense side. If you
Okay.
play as a Bastion during the last push during the last push to the point,
yes.
you can stop it. You can stop it, and if you have a Reinhardt to help you, to shield you, you can hold them off indefinitely.
Probably.
I think that it should never come down to a two-person combo winning a game.
I was thinking about this. I was thinking about Bastion. I think the one thing that Blizzard could do is to make him balance is give him a warm up time for his minigun.
That is actually okay. Yeah.
I think he just needs a warm up time
Yeah.
because the reason why he's so powerful is like he just instantly target you. But if you have a little bit of buffer time for him to see you and then for the time for you to like
You
spot
can
him
get
and
cover.
you could either get to cover or you could take him out before he spins up.
That's
his
a good
machine-
idea.
His machine gun. So I think that's all he needs to do.
And
Can we add? Can I suggest also that Torbjorn gets a spread for his turret? Just a little bit of spread.
I don't see
So it's
why
not
he
laser accurate aimbot every. Like,
it's not just
constantly.
that. Like I don't know why it goes 360 degrees. I feel like it should give him like I don't know, like give it.
180 or maybe
Yeah.
180. I think would not be a miss. So you can kind of come behind him instead of getting ousted by his turret.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I mean, Bastion's a turret. I mean, he can always see, right? I mean, but the turret has the
Some sort of sensor that.
it
picks
just
up.
automatically aimbots towards you.
Yep.
So, I just hope that would be the. But aside from that, I haven't seen many huge balance issues. Like I haven't played a game
it's
where
never
like
massive.
I can't
it's never
believe it.
game breaking.
Yeah.
It's never game breaking.
Yeah, it's
But
like
there
mild
are
annoyances.
moments when I think like, okay, even if our team had pulled together here and done exactly what they were supposed to do, we could not have won due to certain combinations. And that is what annoys me. When no matter what your skill, no matter what your cooperation, there's just no chance.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like Bastion sometimes affords on certain maps and certain spots. It's not like universally the character's overpowered.
Yeah.
But
choke points.
yeah. Yep. I think we should move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something to say, Max? Or?
What about Roadhog? I feel like Roadhog is, besides Bastion, the toughest character to beat. in the
Rogue
game.
isn't too bad. If you dodge his chains, it's not a
His
big
lack
deal.
of range is what allows
True.
it to be okay.
Yeah.
The fact that he's so tanky and could heal himself.
The healing is kind of
Annoying.
overpowered.
Yeah, I don't think it's
I think
overpowered.
it's
annoying.
too frequent.
Yeah, too
It's
frequent.
if they delayed it by 2 seconds more, or
Possibly,
a second more,
Possibly,
Yeah.
yeah.
it might be okay.
Yeah.
But it's just ridiculous when he's in the middle of like a 2v1 and he's just like huffing the gas.
Yeah.
And then then he's back. And
Yeah.
it's like
It's like,
there's
hold on. hold on. It's like so you'd be wailing at him, and he's like, hold on.
And if you
I'm
don't
having a
have
drink.
enough damage between
ridiculous.
you and the other character who are attacking him, like if let's say you're a Genji and a Tracer or something like that,
He'll survive
there's just
enough for-
no way.
Yeah.
You're both going to die before this is over, and I think it's that
It sucks, to be sure.
is kind of unfair because there have been moments when I've been playing as Roadhog and I'm in the middle of a battle and I'm like, okay, come on, E, and I'm just spamming it. I'm just spamming the gas thing and you know I'm at like 15 health and then whoa 315 again, and that really does just wreck the balance in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but Roadhog is also fairly like I remember seeing pretty balanced because McCree he has his little flashbang, and
That's another unbalanced thing.
it's okay. It's not horrible.
No, okay. Here's what I think about it. I think that the ability of someone like me who's shitty at playing, okay, to pick up McCree, go flashbang someone, and then empty my rounds into them.
Fan the hammer.
Yeah, is just too easy. It's too easy. If I sneak around like I'm playing spy, like and try to be inconspicuous, I just come from behind, find someone who's coming from their spawn, flash them, and fan the hammer. And he has a pretty high skill cap, I'd say. His shots at medium range are like sniper bullets. It's amazing. So if instead of emphasizing his accuracy and his ability as a gunslinger, it's just like you spam the grenade and then you
Well, the thing about the McCree was that like if you get chained by a Roadhog, what you would be able to do is throw a flashbang before he could shoot you and just run away. So he would chain you, you get stunned. You would chain McCree, you get stunned, not be able to do anything, and then you just like, oh, he just ran away. Okay.
Yeah.
Or he would even kill you even, and it's just like, okay, that works. But I just want to pull up this tweet for by Matt Arnold. It's pretty funny. It's like 2 weeks ago. Bastion is OP. Last week. Junkrat special is BS. This week. McCree is broken. Next week to the therapist. All along, the problem was me. It's just, it's just funny. Like people like trying to figure out what's broken in the game, and they haven't really been able to pinpoint exact things where people are unanimously agreeing on like, okay, this character is definitely OP.
I think McCree's being used wrong. Like he's being abused.
He's being abused.
I think he's being abused.
Save to McCree's.
I don't know. It's high noon somewhere.
It's high noon. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah. We have time. Overwatch, pretty fun game.
Pretty fun. I think
I could see myself playing it for a very long time.
it's gonna be I don't buy games often, so this is gonna be my game for the next year, basically.
Yeah. It's my go-to game. Moving on. Let me check what we have on our list. Definitely a lot of things to talk about too. So I don't want to move on. So, super bugs and super drugs.
Okay.
So Ravenstorm, you got some cool bio news.
Well, it's not very cool. So a antibiotic-resistant strain of E.Coli has been found, and it's resistant to our last line of defense as far as antibiotics go. Okay? So what this means, let's talk about what this implies in the first place and how this came about. Okay, so for the last 50 so years, antibiotics have been what we've used to basically protect our livestock. We put our livestock in bad conditions.
Yeah.
Just they're waiting in their own shit basically, and to prevent meat from being contaminated and these animals from getting sick, we feed them massive quantities of antibiotics. Most antibiotics in the U.S. go to animals, or most antibiotics in the world go to animals, to livestock. Okay, and what this has created is so the natural process of evolution goes that the survivors reproduce.
Yeah.
Okay, and what happens when you saturate an environment with antibiotics is that it kills 99.999% of bacteria, but there's that 0.0001%.
Yeah.
And that is basically what we've come across that has trumped our final antibiotic.
Well, that's the thing about superbugs is that they've always doctors have been warning us for ages, like on
like,
a patient level.
Eventually, it's going to happen. Like stop using antibacterial hand soap. Don't sanitize your hands so much. Like using cleaning products and just like antibacterial stuff in general.
Well, soap is fine. Soap is fine.
Oh, soap is fine.
It's not a huge issue.
Specifically targeting bacteria.
Yeah, that
because not all bacteria is bad.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not one to. We're not qualified to give health advice. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Other than, I mean, like there's some general guidelines.
Here's some health advice.
General guidelines.
Wash your fruits and vegetables thoroughly.
Yes.
That's
very good. That's very good advice.
That is the number one thing that can prevent your E. coli infection.
I could
wash your fruits and vegetables.
I could 100% back this. That you should
to rub off all the pesticides that are on them.
Not just pesticides, but like it's crap. Like
there's a lot of stuff.
things.
I mean, just wash your food. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. It's it needs to be clean.
So about
the dirt does not add flavor.
About the superbug, like this is something that doctors have been telling us about for a while.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen. We're gonna get to the point where where antibiotics don't work anymore.
Yeah.
And so there's another level of danger to this, okay? And that is that certain bacteria are able to take genetic code from other bacteria and just recycle it and absorb it into their own thing.
So other bacteria are able to take the resistance.
Potentially. And so we've quarantined it off, I'm pretty sure, and we've taken very thorough steps, I'm fairly sure, to contain this and keep it from
That's what they
from
say.
moving. But the issue at hand is still thus that we have fucked up as far as antibiotics go.
It's probably gonna
We've
happen
gotten to the
again.
point where it's not just like a thing that's going to happen someday, potentially in the future. It's happened.
Yeah.
It's gotten to that point. And yeah, go ahead.
So what do you propose that we do for to prevent this from happening, or to remedy this, to mitigate?
I think that a lot of the food industry needs to be reworked. I think the livestock conditions just need to be reworked. We have to stop our obsession with meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, I want to talk about this for a bit.
Let's do this.
Yes. I mean, I'm not going to tell people what to eat. Like, I'm not going to tell people what to eat.
Okay. Let's just clear it up straight ahead so we can go forward with our opinions.
Yeah.
We are not professionals, and we are not here to preach to you what to do, what to eat, what to buy. But we have ideas, and we're going to express them. So let's just go.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
That's good. That's good. So, we consume way too much meat. In my opinion, so it's a lot, and in most countries, meat is kind of hard to come by, and it's pretty expensive, and the way meat is subsidized right now, just through all these government subsidies, it's kind of insane. It's developed a really unhealthy production of meat. So ideally what I'd like was that meat is raised in very, very strict, very standard, very reasonable conditions, right? Like you would expect. Like cows live on a farm, they kind of graze on grass, right? Just in very large quantities, but there's still grass when cows are done. Of course, this will raise prices, but they should be that high. Like meat is way too cheap.
Meat is, okay.
It is
so
way too cheap.
Let's talk about that. I think it might have been Ben, our friend, who told me, and it might have been Peter, my friend, who told me. But for every time you buy a steak, if you add $200 to that price, that's the actual price of the steak, the market value. If you take into account all the transport and the feeding and the raising and the capital that needs to go into it, it's way more expensive than it should be.
Yep.
And when I was,
that's just their tax dollars going into it.
Yeah.
Right,
You're already paying that much.
okay. But I interned on a farm in Washington for a while, and while I was up there, they raised their own pigs, okay, and they'd raise a pig, and when it got old, they'd slaughter it, and they had bacon and chops and everything.
Yeah.
But meat was a very small part of the diet. You don't have that much meat.
Yeah.
It's just maybe once a day, maybe with one meal as like bacon slices or just something minor. Or fish. Fish is okay to have.
Responsibly fished fish. There's a lot of overfishing going on as well.
That's true. That's true.
So you gotta be careful about that too. But I mean, if you're eating farmed fish, I think that's fine. I think that's okay.
Farm fish, that is ecologically stable, but the wild fish, way too many are being overfished.
So you want farmed fish. It's better for the environment.
farm fish also have heavy metals in them, though. So
You gotta be careful.
yeah. So let's okay. Anyway,
Heavy metals, just
Like
just
lead
just
stuff?
rocking out.
what? Okay. So wait, we were talking about
Meat.
meat. Okay. Yeah. So I think what needs to happen is we need to be more conscientious of our meat intake because it's not as available as it's been made available. It's been made available through demand, through heavy demand, not because like that's just the price of meat. We deforested a large part of South America for our beef consumption.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We've cut down like I think something like
I don't know if it's beef consumption specifically.
it is
Interesting.
beef consumption
Do
specifically.
we import a lot of meat?
No, it's just that's how we raise cattle. We clear forest
It's
land.
American farms, just in
Oh,
South America.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Because they have a ton of land.
Okay.
that's-
I was under the impression that a lot of the like the cattle, like the livestock, were in the United States, but okay.
I mean, a lot of them are, but more.
There are
than
more,
there.
yeah, and like a large. That's where most of deforestation goes. Like we are destroying habitat like willy nilly because we want our meat, and like there's an interesting problem that arises. This sort of problem to me is interesting because if I stop eating meat, the market doesn't stop.
No, it's unfortunate because it's just like a small drop, right? I mean,
Right.
you should be anyways. You should be shop.
Right. So that's
should lower it anyways.
The interesting. That's I guess
So,
the interesting problem.
The best way we do it, I mean, it's not gonna happen. I hate to be cynical, but you know, would be basically if you stop the government subsidies, right? Prices will shoot through the roof. So people are just gonna people are just naturally gonna stop eating meat. And
Yeah.
then that's how.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Okay, so let's bring this back to the antibiotics thing. So, because of our incessant demand, we have created a system that just
It's like the environment is just because like because you have to create so much meat, you have to be very efficient in how you handle your livestock.
right.
And
so
unfortunately, the
efficiency
way
and profit margins take
they take
safety.
precedence over the safety standards. So and then to make up for the lacking safety standards, instead of just giving them more space, cleaning, basically
pump
you
them
just
full of medicine.
it's just plugging another hole. It's just
And so that really is the main problem.
because it's cheaper to buy antibiotics than it is to
Raise cows healthy.
yeah.
Yeah. So, realistically, I'm going to be boycotting meat for a while.
I'm gonna stop eating
just
meat.
not stop eating meat altogether necessarily, but just like I'm not going to buy beef.
Yes,
I'm gonna stick
That's a good
to
idea.
chicken, pork, and fish.
fish. That's mostly what I've been doing for the past. Like, I don't do it out of choice. I'm a poor college student, so I just end up buying whatever's like cheap. So it's
Right.
like chicken and pork, fish on the side.
Isn't chicken and pork also raised in a
It's
pretty
pretty.
bad environment?
It's also pretty bad.
What makes
Beef-
those two different from beef? Then?
Beef is the major meat crop that powers the industry.
Yeah, that is true.
And like the beef industry in particular is the one that's insidious. Like I'm gonna say like pork maybe like I'll also I'm cutting down on meat in general.
Yeah.
But chicken I think is actually okay because you can get chickens that are hormone free and
it's not that expensive either.
They're antibiotic free and
Yeah.
it's not that considerably more expensive.
Chickens are a lot easier to raise.
True.
Like
Yeah.
buying all natural Kobe beef, that's expensive. You know,
Really high quality beef is.
it's super expensive.
Yeah, actually, I really like this.
But high quality chicken isn't nearly the same sort
So
of margin.
there's this website I follow because I'm a growing adult and I'm trying to figure out my way in life. So one of those things that I have to do is learn how to cook.
Yeah.
And I haven't really cooked before I started, before this past year. So this past year I've been trying to learn how to cook, hone my skills and all that. But I don't really have any recipes, so I just kind of I look on the internet. There's this really good website I follow. It's called Budget Bites. It's just some of the recipes are not as good as you would expect, but a lot of them are very decent. And like the vast majority of the ones that I've tried, at least, are like vegetarian, and like it's not even something you would like even like kind of. It's something that you would just sort of kind of pass off. You wouldn't even like realize that it's vegetarian.
Right, because I mean, the nature of vegetarian is just there's not meat in it.
Yeah.
Like if you're not thinking about it consciously, like I need meat at every meal, then it becomes kind of a natural thing to just eat starches and vegetables.
I remember I was eating for a week because like I do like meal prep stuff and I just prepare a lot of food at once and then I just eat it throughout the week. And at the end of the week, like I was thinking about it, I was like, I didn't eat meat this week.
But you didn't realize it throughout the week.
I didn't care really.
Right,
I was just like
so,
I just wasn't eating meat, and it's not that I cared about it. It's just like I was just eating food, you know. It's like my main concern was not the meat. It was about I'm really hungry. I need food.
So it wasn't a focus on eating specific vegetables or eating not meat. It was just I'm eating food, and meat is just not an ingredient right now. That's it.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's a very healthy way to live and to look at it. Like,
and it's very cheap.
Because vegetarianism, like, to anytime you have to be like specific about something, it gets kind of
people kind of shrug it off.
People do. Like, I have to say, like, I have dismissed vegetarianism and veganism. I still dismiss veganism, but that's besides the point. Vegetarianism in the past, because like I'm just thinking like why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to yourself? It just sounds like a bad time. You're giving yourself a bad time for no. But realistically, that's how people have eaten for a long time.
Yeah.
It's not
you
hard.
only have meat like when someone brings back like something like catch or something.
And honestly, like you don't have to just not eat meat. You don't have to go vegetarian.
Right? Yeah.
Vegetarian.
No, you don't.
Like,
you don't have to. It's just, but for the most part, you don't have to include meat in every meal.
Yeah.
And meat as a dietary staple is not that important.
Even cutting back to like. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but it's not that hard. Cutting back meat to like maybe once a week, twice a week, it's easy and it's
cheaper.
It's cheaper and it's just really good. It's just very beneficial to everyone involved. So, moral of the story is, cut back on your meat consumption.
Cut back on meat.
And you'd be surprised how easy it is.
Wash your vegetables.
Wash your vegetables. Wash your fruit. Wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands and try to go for just like straight up
soap.
Glycerin soap.
Yeah,
or just some sort of soap that doesn't.
You don't need antibacterial.
It's really unless you're performing.
Unless you're sick. Unless you're sick too.
Right. Or you're cooking food for other people.
Yeah.
In that case,
that's really
be very, very clean.
Right.
Just be clean. Yeah.
So if you're cooking for yourself and you're just like about to eat, just normal.
Wash your hands.
Normal.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
And so let's talk about what is next for this, because this is kind of an interesting step for medical technology. Is that we're going to have to figure out a way to kill this thing.
Is it going to be
kill bugs like this that aren't antibiotics?
Yeah. Is it going to be like a cycle where it's like you just gotta amp it up every single time? Where it's like a super bug and then like super drug and then super bug and then super
that's
super
what
drug.
Has been happening for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, not to this extreme, but even if we stop the strength of the antibiotics and somehow kill off this current version of E.Coli, somewhere else, a new strain of a new bug is going to pop up that's resistant. So
we have to be especially careful about this nowadays because the whole world's connected.
Globalization.
We have flights and boats and just like shit moving all the time everywhere and massive. I'm going to say overpopulation. In a lot of areas.
Yes, in a lot of areas.
China,
concentrated overpopulation.
There's also high demand for American beef, and it's American beef that's currently having this issue, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just something to be wary of. The times are changing, and it may come down to actually just a very large shift in the public paradigm that maybe meat isn't something that we want super cheap. Maybe
it sounds so cynical. It sounds so cynical, but I almost hope that like this.
Hold on. Right.
Seamless transition.
Yes.
Anyways, you're saying about meat consumption, so it's like, I almost hope it sounds really cynical to say, but I almost hope that this E.Coli thing kind of follows through and people just get super scared and just back off meat for a while.
I kind of do too.
Like it sounds horrible to say.
I don't.
And a lot of people are gonna die.
I don't want people to get sick, and I don't want people to die. But I do think that
forces a shift.
A few people. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go Bentham here and talk about utilitarianism.
Sure.
But like, if 40 people die, and we back off the meat thing, and like this like really scares people. It's just like they die a horrible death. And it's a quick death. Quick
but horrible.
And it just scares people out of it, and demand for meat drops, and then if prices go up demand for meat drops, prices go up, fewer people are eating it, and then like it's better for the planet. Like it's
ecological footprint will be far less deep.
Like,
Yep.
There needs to be, it needs to hit a tipping point, because our lifestyle as first world Americans is not sustainable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say that this is probably the golden age of humanity when we all live like princes.
We're about to decline.
No, not necessarily decline, but come to our senses more, like,
Yeah.
and be less immature and less like
Become
selfish.
more responsible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I think that as a species and as a culture, we need to move forward. And I think that getting off the meat is going to
Yeah.
be one of those things.
Yeah, humans are like children, so like you're gonna have to you're gonna have to implement some like kind of strict parenting.
See, and if everyone
And if
everyone
that
had
means
their own
40 people dying of horrible
So
death,
killing the children.
like,
I mean, you got.
but like
it's terrible. But I think there is going to be here's the big thing.
it's going to happen. I think. If not this time, at some point.
I'm wary of a Malthusian pruning. I am very much worried about that because, like, naturally, okay, the way nature works is that when a species gets it's too populous, okay, especially in a certain area, is that there is something that happens, and it's something, and it's not always the same thing, but it's something, and it works that way so that balance is preserved.
This is very common subject taught in ecological and biological sciences. Yes.
And so it grows to a certain point.
As far
and
as I know.
It starts tapering off, and something happens.
Yeah, and then it's like a dramatic.
Right, and so we need
I forgot the term for it. I'm sorry.
understand this, and we need to catch ourselves before something happens. Because I can't imagine something like this going off in, let's say, India, where it's overpopulated.
I mean, it
and
can't be meat
there's-
because
70% of the or 60% of the population.
No, but I
doesn't
mean
eat meat.
I just mean the bacteria.
Yeah.
Like because there's crap everywhere.
Mhm.
Like it's just the conditions are bad, and
Yeah.
people
Many
are
places
very,
are very-
squished up together, and that would spread like wildfire.
Sure.
A antibiotic resistant sickness would spread like wildfire,
Yeah.
and that's just like a terrifying thing. I'd rather 40 people die a horrible death than 40 million. Like that's or 4 billion for that matter.
Yeah.
You know, like when the Black Plague rolled through, that it killed off something like a
off the
third of
earth.
Europe.
Yeah.
Like that's
A
a
lot.
serious thing. That's a serious something. And yeah, we have medical science nowadays, but
What's new
like
Black
right now
Plague?
we're confounded. We've hit a point where we're just like, what next?
Yeah.
So that is something we seriously need to think about as a society and as a culture. I think.
And people need to realize, because a lot of people don't or refuse to do so, that if we don't take care of the planet, eventually it's going to go on without us.
Yes.
Because it doesn't need us to survive, but we need it to survive. So if it hits a new low point that is way below our standards, we're not going to survive or at least thrive in it.
Our planet's gone through several mass extinctions. Like most species on the planet have died off in catastrophic events. If we do, yeah. But I mean, even if we do just nuke the planet, it's like most life is wiped out. It'll restart.
That's how most of my Civ games end.
Yeah.
It'll be Gandhi again.
We were just talking about India
He
earlier.
just needs to be peaceful enough to get near those buttons.
And then he presses them.
Right.
Two
Anyway,
keys.
what's
actually.
next? Because we gotta
We gotta move on. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll skip a couple because we don't need to talk about all of them.
I want to talk about Aloe.
Hello.
Hello, Governor.
Yes. So a couple weeks ago, over at Google I/O, Google announced a messaging service app thing called Allo. Why don't you just run down what it is and what it does?
It's a messaging service. So Facebook Messenger has been extremely competitive as far as the grabbing that spot for your central messaging.
Like in the United, I've mentioned about this before, but in the United States, there are basically 3 main forms of messaging. You have text message. You have iMessage for all the iPhone users because I think that's
which is a better format I'm gonna say like. So
admittedly better.
Have we talked about this on the podcast before?
I've ranted about iMessage before because it's so good.
It's just better.
It's so good, but it's only limited to Apple users.
Right.
It's awesome. I wish I had iMessage. I almost want to get an iPhone because of iMessage, and that's how they're getting me.
No.
And then
for other reasons.
And there's Facebook Messenger.
Mhm.
Like those are the three main most popular forms of text communication.
Right. So now the big other company, Google, they're jumping in.
They're trying.
They're going to try, and hopefully, I'm hoping for them because I'm rooting for Google.
Okay.
I don't want this to be another Google Plus.
Or Google Hangouts, Google
YouTube Red.
Right. It needs to be flawlessly integrated with Android. Is what needs to happen.
It needs to replace the text messenger on all Android phones.
Yes. That's what needs to happen because honestly, SMS is terrible.
SMS is the worst. I've ranted about SMS. It is the worst.
Yeah. It's an old technology, and we really we can do better now.
Yeah.
So Allo comes with the option to be
scoot in a little.
Allo comes with the option to have end-to-end encryption, which is like so straight up like we use Signal.
Yeah,
for our
use
text
Signal.
messaging.
I use Signal.
Yeah.
Just and that's an encrypted end-to-end text messenger. So something like that. But interestingly, Google has decided to disable this by default. They have chosen to include an encryption thing, but only so basically they hide it away.
The incognito.
Yeah, they hide it away in the settings. Yes. And Edward Snowden actually went ahead and chimed in on this and said, "Just stay away for now." I think that's interesting.
Yeah, actually, on the flip side, actually, I think Edward Snowden also kind of endorsed Signal. Like he was like Open Whisper guys. Those guys are good.
Nice.
I mean, I believe that's what they say. That's what he said. I could be wrong. In related news, actually, there's been rumors that Facebook will be implementing end-to-end encryption on their messaging app, which is ridiculous for Facebook. Because Facebook is like known for just all their data harvesting methods.
Speaking of data harvesting, let's talk about what Snowden said about Mark Zuckerberg, and that is
was that Snowden? What Snowden said, or I thought it was someone else.
I thought that
Snowden. Was the Pirate Bay guy.
Oh no, it wasn't. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't Snowden. It was. He has an odd last name. It's also got an S. But co-founder of the Pirate Bay called Mark Zuckerberg the dictator of the largest nation on Earth.
Yes, that's a very interesting quote.
Something.
Yeah,
something
that's about what he said. Yeah.
And because he drew some parallels in that Facebook sort of censors and does some funny things, and no one voted for the guy who makes the rules.
Right.
It's absolute power over that many people, and you have to use your real name. So, there's
it's a big mess. It's actually really funny because, like, to be honest, there's a bit of truth in that because so many people use Facebook. That's why Facebook Messenger is so popular because everyone has a Facebook. You know,
it's because a lot of things around the web are integrated with it. Like, it used to be that you had an email address, and with that you signed up for everything. But nowadays
you could do
sign up with Facebook,
Twitter,
and it's just so much more closely integrated.
It's very easy for them. And I mean, I don't personally use it. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like to sign up with my email. I have my trash email that I use, right? But for a lot of people, it's just so easy. Like, it's very cyberpunk, I think. Very cyberpunk to think that. And actually, it's actually hilarious because this almost word for word mirrors a passage from Deus Ex: Human Revolution. There's like when in the game when you're playing Deus Ex, there's like these little books that you can read, like little articles that you can read. And in one of the articles, it says that like in the future, people will not form allegiances based on their country, but they will perform allegiances based on corporations. Yeah. That's this totally, is like then this is exactly it.
That's totally okay. So let's move on to that because I think that's actually a very, very fascinating concept. I think that's a totally viable thing.
It's true
because let's think about how power has been vested throughout the years. It used to be that whoever had the most gold,
or whoever had the king's blood,
right? Yeah. Or so it's gold and blood that control the power.
Yeah.
And these people would represent countries to other countries and make sure that people weren't killed in wars and that sort of thing. Okay, but now we've kind of moved out of that stage where war is like a super pressing issue because we have nuclear deterrence.
Yeah, sure.
And so that has basically brought this into a new era of where does your patriotism lie? And I think I know fewer people with American flags in their house than
Apple stickers.
just brand merch.
Yeah.
Just like I'm pretty sure there are more people who would rather wear a Nike shirt that says "Just Do It" / than anything remotely patriotic.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that people are caring less and less about political discourse, but feeling like they have more and more of a say in the marketplace.
This is a good transition.
And to transition to what? I'm sorry.
So close.
To this subject of people aligning themselves more to the corporations than to countries.
Well, not really. Well, we'll get to what I was talking about in a sec, but it's the brand company men is a very common word. I think I hope I'm not wrong here, but there's a common theme of companies adopting in Japan. The companies adopting adults. Adult adoption rate is very high, so that company men basically would take on the company's name as their actual name.
So people would actually be related to the company.
Yeah,
I think, but
your last name is Sony now.
But let's think about the way social organization works in general. Up until now, you'd relied on who is geographically close to you and who you are related to be your family.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you could I have friends that I don't see most often, like you guys, and my social connections are less about geographic location and less about who I'm related to, and more about compatible interests, more about
aligned
overarching ideas and mindset. And I think that in a way, even though it is dystopian, I think that people who work for the same company being in the same family makes total sense. That to me makes more sense than
that's exactly
how it works now.
They actually call it a family at where I work. It's our department's family.
But now it's actually literal.
Yeah.
I want to add to this. I think I discussed this in a previous podcast. How in South Korea the whole aligning of corporations thing is kind of reality. Some people say that Korea is not Korea. It's more like Samsung's playground because they have their hands in everything. All the politicians, the lawyers, the schools, in fact,
hotels,
tanks,
supermarkets,
theme parks, a lot of different companies that are not technically Samsung, but are connected to it by the
So they have a monopolistic sort of trust.
It's not just Samsung either. It's LG.
Yeah, but Samsung's the biggest, and each big company has a hand in every single industry.
Finger in every pie.
All the way down to like street vendors for food. And
that's crazy.
A lot of people, their dream job isn't to be an entrepreneur or anything like this. It's to be an employee at Samsung or one of the big companies because they think of themselves as people. Sure, they say they think of themselves as the country's person, but they act more like they are that company's person, that citizen of that company.
And I guess it's kind of endearing that like in the United States we don't have that so much of that, and as a matter of fact we have kind of a pushback where people kind of prefer indie labels, indie artists, indie games, whatever.
I think it's interesting that we do that because we have we are an odd combination of religiosity and first world.
Well, the United States has always stressed individualism, right? As opposed to the Asian countries in general. For example, as opposed to us having our own computers and gaming desktops and then gaming in our own homes. In Asian countries, people would just hang out with their friends over at the internet cafe, which I think would be pretty cool. But it's a shift in mindset.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that there are a lot of unhealthy things about the American mindset that comes from the individualism thing.
True.
But
they're at the same time.
I think at the same time the corporatic sort of thing that's emerging is just as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's move on though.
Yes. We're running out of time.
Yes.
So, I think. What do you guys want to talk about? What we've been checking out?
I think we kind of have, don't you think?
Well,
I mean, like,
couple
oh
more
yeah,
things.
okay.
Yeah. So, cue like weird music. Yeah, I wish we had like a cool intro, but Max, I don't know.
I don't make music.
I do, but my mandolin's broken.
Oh no!
I've busted a string.
Oh no! Well, it was a good transition into what you've been checking out then.
Right.
Other than your broken mandolin.
Right. I actually haven't been doing that much or producing that much. I've been getting back into drawing a little bit. I really want to get into sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a thing for brutalism and for
I like brutalist.
Not for cardboard, for concrete. Concrete, glass,
difference.
steel, and just like really clean, monumental, monolithic aesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've been looking into some ancient history stuff, and I think it's fascinating how like we draw a lot of our knowledge from just these little like pieces of stone that have like marks on them. Like if I saw a cuneiform scroll just in the dirt, I'd just be like, okay, yeah, someone made some holes in a rock. Like it does not look like language, but we've found things about ancient cultures from this, and I think that it would be interesting to sort of do something like that. And instead of making Facebook posts or making writing a blog, but rather putting things on concrete tablets and printing them. And my plan is to do this. Okay.
You want to start like?
Well, no, I'm gonna make molds. I think I'm gonna use linoleum and carve away some linoleum and then cast some.
Okay, that's a lot better.
Yeah. Anyway, and then I'm just gonna put these things out in the woods somewhere, and just and just some information about some human life.
Is it gonna be
Follow me at the Ravenstorm.
No, but like, I don't know. I think like stone and working with things that are hardy and will last hundreds of years. Like that to me is just absolutely fascinating, because I live in a world where everything's so transient. Files that have massive amounts of information on them can just be deleted or moved around, and it doesn't have anything that is, pun intended, concrete about it.
Solid pun.
And I want more concrete.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would just like imagine just like you having like you'd be follow me at the Ravenstorm, and then it's like a little Twitter logo on it, and then somehow it's like like the me or something gets like cut out, and then centuries and centuries later, it's like people like discover it's like follow the Ravenstorm, and there's like a little bird, right? And they're like there's like some religion.
Yep. It's ancient religion, dude.
Ancient religion. It's called Ravenstorm.
Leading religion of the 21st
Because
century.
what's more vintage than vinyl? What's more vintage than Polaroid? It's obviously just stone carving.
Stone carving. Very.
Making artifacts, dude.
Vinyl is too mainstream.
People are
about-
super obsessed with making artifacts. Did you notice this?
Yeah.
Like we just like make things. We want to leave something. We want to like take something that's in our mind and make it something out in the world.
A living concrete foundation.
Yep. And so like, I don't know. I feel like having something I'd like to make a bust of myself eventually, like Renaissance style.
I don't know. Yes, yeah. I would love
that.
to do that, and then take a photo of it, put it over like a '90s like wallpaper background. It's like
Dude, I wanna
Ravenstorm Plus.
I want to be the ultimate sad boy. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Aesthetic.
yeah, it's concrete aesthetic.
Ravenstorm with spaces between each letter.
Who's next?
Max, I guess, or picked up anything?
I guess
cool?
maybe Taylor.
Taylor, our fans.
So how's it going, fan? Are you turned on yet?
Our fans are quiet.
Yeah. Not much. Not playing Overwatch.
let's fix that problem. I propose that we.
No,
Chip in
you don't have to do that.
No, but it's 40
It's not
bucks.
for you.
$40
It's for
bucks.
us.
Yeah, it's not for you. It's so that we can all talk about this, because I personally feel like shit when I talk about Overwatch, and you're not playing it.
No, like I'm saving money for eventually when you get rid of your GPU.
Yeah, I'm yeah.
I'm saving money for that
Okay.
because no, I won't accept it for free. I'm going to guilt you with meta guilt of how I will feel guilty if I get that for free.
Okay.
Here, how
Okay.
about? But okay, then let's do it this way. Okay, we each put $10 forth, you included, so it's an equal share.
$30. Then we need either a fan or Taylor to put it.
No, that's Taylor. Yeah, Taylor would be.
Assume
yeah.
Taylor.
What about the fan?
No, the fan doesn't. The
Fans
fans
don't
don't give us any money. Like that's
they-
why we're in my
Is it a
room.
bad fan?
It's not a
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah. Again, support a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Esports Simulator 2015.
I have to get that up so that we can put a link in the description.
So
Yeah.
good.
What was it? Okay, my new YouTube channel. So there's no video on it yet, but I am making the new episode.
Excellent. What are you doing?
It's just a space. I recorded like 2 months ago.
Oh jeez.
Oh, wow.
Oh jeez.
What else? Nothing really.
Okay.
I'm just looking up tutorials on video making,
Okay.
especially like some audio tutorials for Premiere.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So learning some new skills.
Indeed.
Exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Summer's here.
Summer's here. Time to learn things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is funny.
Time to
because-
teach yourself the things that school won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. So in terms of things I've been checking out, I forgot to mention this, but Max Taylor and I headed down to San Francisco the other day to check out the Tested Garage sale. Mm-hmm. Selling lots of cool stuff, a lot of geek paraphernalia, a lot of like 3D printed stuff. They were selling 3D printers, drones, stuff like that. And over in a bin I saw some familiar. I heard a familiar click, and I was like, I knew what that click was. It was a Cherry MX Blue. And I was like, what's that? I looked
And
down.
this is after you bought a new keyboard.
After I
How much?
After he
For
bought
how
the
much?
Helios.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, talk about it.
I want to talk about
What
it.
was
Say
the
it,
price?
say
What was
it.
the
It
price?
was like $238.50.
$238.
But at the
for-
same time, they were custom made
Okay, yeah, no,
It's a custom-
no,
custom keyboard.
with,
okay,
with
okay,
a new type of switch.
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
but and
So, but I couldn't resist. Because
And then on top of that-
on top of that, so I saw this Ergodox, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I wonder how much it is.
Ergodox.
Ergodox. It's a custom ergonomic keyboard, which is split, so it's like two separate planks of keyboards, and it's connected by like a 3.5 millimeter cable. And then, anyway, so it's custom built for like on the Tested website. You could watch a video of Will Smith building it. It's very interesting. He messed up, by the way. I think one of the keys don't work.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. I'll fix it. Anyway, so I picked it up. I was like, I'll just see how much it is. It's probably like $100 or something. I probably won't get it, but I'll just check it out. So I come up to Norman Chan, and he's like giving people like price estimates, like how much they have to pay for it. And go up, just like, hey, how much is this? He's like, $50. I'm like, and you get that fan, for free. And I had like a little 140 millimeter case fan. I was like, holding with me. I was like, I want to see how much that is. And he's like, I was like, dang it. Dang it! Now I have to get this. I cannot pass this up.
right.
So
You can always pass your Zelios one on to me.
no, we'll see.
Pass it on to me.
Well, we'll see. I will see what I keep at the end of this month. I'll have a lot to look
And then you
through.
can have your own garage sale.
I know, right? And then Norman Chan will come over and buy my stuff.
He's like, "How much is this?" And you're like, $100. And then he's like, "Dang it!"
$100.
Yeah. So I picked up a Ergodox, and like I was able to meet the Tested crew, and they're really nice, super cool people. Short is awesome, stuff like that. So and I picked up like a poster, had their signatures on it, and
Nice.
stuff like that, and a papercraft Norman Chan, like a paper. Yeah, it's like a little cute person. Yeah. So I picked up the Ergodox, and I'm gonna be in the process of getting it to work properly again and learning how to use
Put it
it
in the oven.
because put it in the oven to make it work again, just like my graphics card. But the thing about it is that the keys are blank, and it's also a completely new layout, which I'm not used to. So that combined with the blank keys is gonna be super hard for me to get used to. But I'm gonna try. See if I can get used to it because I hear it's really awesome to type on. Other than that, Overwatch. A lot of Overwatch. I haven't been able to play any other games really. Overwatch has been taking up all my time.
No, you did play one of the
Oh!
and quit.
That's true. I after several months of hiatus, or probably like a year really,
We finally
I picked up Dark Souls again.
And
The
we've
first
been doing a co-op playthrough, which hasn't lasted long because he gave up because he's a filthy casual.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
I-
clunky.
It's good.
Okay, so here's
The original Dark Souls.
It is clunkier.
I've never been a fan of that series. I know people who are fans. Like
Max is a fan.
I know people who really like the game, but to me, it looks and feels like a PS2 game, and I'm done with playing PS2
I mean,
games.
the third one doesn't.
The first one does look kind of
The third one
PlayStation
looks like a
game.
modern game because they are finally able to make for modern GPUs. But yeah, the first one obviously looks
It's like a PS3 game.
pretty old for even if it's
Like no, I mean just like the movement and the animation, like things where your running animation is the same no matter whether you're spinning in a tight circle.
It does not. The original Dark Souls does not age very well.
well. Even the new one, the running is kind of the same. Although it flows better because now they made it so that it'll be free frame.
I watched my friend.
Also,
friend
heavy
play Dark
things
Souls
in that
and looked
game
good.
don't look heavy, and that bugs me a lot.
Well, I mean, the thing is, a person shouldn't be able to carry a 300-pound sword.
Well, of course not, but I mean like it doesn't even look heavy. It just looks like you're swinging a feather, or like the animations are so lightweight that it's.
I like some of the animations. Some of the animations.
Surprised of how
Some of the animations look
feathery
good.
a sword could swing in real life. Although the really heavy swords, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Of course.
I guess no, I'm not talking about the weapons and the characters so much. I'm talking about like enemies. When you see a huge enemy,
Like a giant gargoyle.
yeah, or something like that, and it moves fast. It's uncanny and unnatural, and the physics do not make sense to me.
That
And
seems
something
to be-
about that makes me.
That seems to be a stylistic choice by just old Japanese devs. Like, have you seen many Japanese games that have realistic physics?
Nope. I haven't seen many Japanese games in general, so I guess I don't have a speaking point for
Like,
that.
I don't know, like Metal Gear. Like, a giant robot
Metal
shouldn't be able
Gear?
to move.
Sorry.
Ninja.
Sorry.
A giant robot shouldn't be able to move like a human, or be,
It's a Sahelanthropus.
or be.
In terms of hominids, it's a Sahelanthropus. What the fuck does that mean?
I never played a Metal Gear game.
Fuck up, Doc. Oh my god. That character has issues in that game. Yeah, the Japanese don't seem to have really use good physics for their games.
Mhm.
Some do, kinda. Most don't. Like 99% don't.
I kind of wish everything was Red Faction Guerrilla-esque.
I never played
I
it.
haven't
So.
played. I know
Oh,
what you're
really?
talking about with the destructible environment.
Just
Oh.
everything
Oh.
destructible that shatters into a million pieces.
I played Red Faction Armageddon, and yeah, the destruction's ridiculous.
Like if I someday hope for a fusion of like Grand Theft Auto, Battlefield 4, and Red Faction.
Wasn't there a game that tried to do something like that with an entire open world being destructible? I forgot what it was called. It had like super powered cops or something. I forgot. It was like the third game in this series. I forgot what it was called, but with basically like each block was actually technically on a different server to handle
Oh,
the physics.
I think I
of
remember that.
each-
It was like an Xbox One game, right? It was an Xbox exclusive game, and it had to use like Azure servers or something.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds
obviously it failed
intense.
because none of us remember. his name.
I don't. Yeah, I haven't heard of it forever.
I don't think it's Sunset Overdrive.
No, Sunset Overdrive is not the game.
Yeah. It was some other game.
Okay, so we got a couple minutes left before we're done here. But what are you guys looking forward to?
I actually haven't been keeping up on any hype because
Good.
Overwatch has been like the
I
hype.
don't think there's really been anything for hype.
No Man's Sky has been delayed. If you guys
yeah.
haven't know, if you guys don't know, so I mean, I'm not affected because I'm not super big on that game, and it actually
Yeah.
gives me time to play other games in beforehand. Any other games you guys are excited for?
Not really.
No. I mean, I'm excited for Deus Ex. Mankind Divided.
I've never played any of those games, and so
They're good.
like
They're good. I would highly recommend Deus Ex Human Revolution. It hasn't aged super well. It doesn't look great, but the gameplay and the RPG mechanics are just phenomenal. If you like stealth games, at least. I mean, even if you don't like stealth games, you could play it running gun.
Yeah.
It's not bad. But I really like that game. And I'm also looking forward to the new NVIDIA graphics cards. GTX 1080 and 1070 are out. I really want to get a 1080, but my budget's telling me 1070.
You already got too much, and besides the 1070.
Never go for the flagship. That's what I learned with the 980.
Well, the 980 is awesome though.
No, the 980 is awesome, but
you don't have to buy a new graphics card for like 3 years, 4 years.
But
let's see. The 1070 is pretty strong enough. It's strong. It's better than any previously released GPU.
Well, of course, because it's the flagship.
Yeah, but the 1080 is like what?
It's $620.
10%, 15% better in performance
than a 1070.
And
yeah.
The price of performance increase is way too bad.
Yeah, I haven't looked at all the numbers yet, so I'll have to analyze it. Do some price, whatever cost things, but it's like I'm ready.
Like you have your own apartment though, right?
I do have my own apartment.
Like if I'm going to be straight honest, the thing that I would do with that much money is buy a bitchin' speaker system.
I have
something like big and amazing.
I don't want to disturb my neighbors. So.
Dude.
Damn it, Max! Like I wanted to say that.
I know, James has been checking.
I've been checking my phone, and you ruined it for me.
Got him.
It's high noon. Yeah. We're done here, guys.
Yeah, with that, let's close out.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for listening and watching. If you're watching, I feel sorry. I'm kidding. Thank you for listening and watching. If you want to check us out, you can follow the Ravenstorm at the Ravenstorm. Follow Max at his YouTube channel. That might be coming soon at some point.
I'll give you the link.
Okay. And you can follow me at the James Lee. You could check us out. Check out our website at addendum.wordpress.com.
We actually have content.
We do have content.
That's interesting.
It's really exciting. I might even have something to talk about. Yeah, I would like for you guys to edit it when you can.
Yes.
I would love to hear your guys' opinions. But without further ado, our intro and outro music provided to us by Grant Webster. You can check out his SoundCloud link in the video description. And without further ado, thank you for listening. On behalf of Ravenstorm, Max, our biggest fan, and myself, we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.